Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Nexus Commentaries. I'm your host tonight, Majesty, and joining me is Patience.
Hi, everybody.
Um, so tonight we have for you Division A East 2Calculated2Throw versus ReGen Phoenix. Uh, guess I'll go over the coin flip information. 2Calculated won the coin. They opted for first hero pick. Um, so then ReGen banned out Alterac and Volskaya, and then 2Calculated banned out Sky Temple and Towers. And then ReGen decided to take us to Dragonshire. Why don't you tell us about Dragonshire?
Well, Dragonshire is the map where you need to control the top and then the bottom point. And I think this is one of the maps where the off lane is quite important to make sure that you can get the objective. But some teams have taken not to care about the objective, just prevent it from the other team and have gone the push way as well. This is yet another map where the first objective win really favors the winning team with a 57.1%. And also apparently the blue side, which is the left side, with a 57.1% as well in Division A East.
Interesting. Interesting. Um, so why don't you tell us about how do you play Dragonshire? What kind of picks do you look for on this map? What's the important features of Dragonshire?
I've seen teams draft things like Sylvanas to make the dragon objective push even stronger. Especially with the tower changes, I think that's probably a good choice so that you can really dive under the towers, forts and keeps to be able to do that. I've also seen teams really prioritize the top with picks like Rexstar to be able to really win the point and never lose the capturing the point at the top. I've also seen some global usages too, so that you can go up and gank and help the off lane at the top once in a while to make sure that you can get both points. So it'll be interesting to see what kind of strategies each team goes for in the draft.
Um, we might have an issue here. Hold on.
Oh, is the audio on or off?
No, no, it's not. It's nothing to do with that. It's
Okay.
someone being a stickler for a rule. I mean, it's fair. It's a rule, but you
Oh,
gotta.
I'm not seeing any problems in the lobby
Nah,
chat
it's
yet.
a Discord whisper to me.
Okay.
So
Gotcha.
sorry about the delay. Waiting to see if what they're gonna do about it.
All right.
All right. So apparently, patients, you're not allowed to be here.
Okay. Well, that's fine.
Per the NGS rules, they're saying that if you don't have the caster, co-caster, or caster hopeful tag, you're not allowed to be in the lobby.
All right.
So you can
Well,
go and get that from the NGS leadership in the Discord chat, but
all right. Well, that's fine. I'm up for following the rules. So maybe I can join you next time if I get that tag.
yeah.
All right. Well, good luck casting, and I'll be watching from the sidelines.
All right. All right. So now it's just me. Sorry about that. No one's really. No one's ever really brought that up. I've reported that I've had casters before without that, so. But he can still commentate. He's not allowed to be in lobby, so. Yep. Go ahead and tell them I'm ready. Different camera. Yes, a different camera angle. We've been updating our system here over at Nexus Commentaries, so it's exciting. We've been doing a lot of different changes here, so you'll see some different features over the time. Just sad that we're gonna miss patience and all the stats he had pulled up for it. Go ahead and move my arm rest back. We're gonna go ahead and start in on draft 1. Sorry we've been low energy so far. Just because issues tend to just be distracting. But we're good to go now. As we enter into game 1 of 2Calculated2Throw versus ReGen Phoenix on Dragonshire. It's very exciting. Dragonshire, of course, a map where you have to control the off lane. You have to be able to win it, because you have to control basically all 3 lanes simultaneously to win the objective here. And that makes it exciting. So Rexxar tends to be a high priority pick here. Tracer, of course, is really good right now. Deathwing can be pulled in. Falstead sometimes gets some value here. Abathurs are really good here if you have a good Abathur player. So let's see here. ReGen Phoenix has played this map twice so far. They've won it both times. So they have it practiced, they have it rehearsed, they're looking for that. On the other hand, they have not yet played it this season on 2Calculated2Throw, but most people have a Dragonshire strat. Just like you kind of need to have a Braxis strat or something where you have to have, like, you have to trust your offlaner enough to be able to pick these maps sometimes, because eventually you'll end up playing them more than likely. So there's that. We see the Alarak ban out here. That was banned out by 2Calculated against ReGen. ReGen have played it so far this season. They've played it 1 time and they lost with it. Stukov banned out against 2Calculated. They've played Stukov 4 times with 2-2 record so far. So that's exciting. I imagine this could potentially be a Rhaegar ban. Rhaegar, of course, getting tons of value with that Bloodlust. Everyone likes a good Bloodlust comp every now and then. A lot of good auto attackers left. Could also see Rexxar banned out, of course, on this map. Zool still is in the pool as well. And they're going to opt to ban out Sylvanas. Not a bad ban by any means. Sylvanas, of course, very, very skilled. Kind of still a very scary hero overall. Being able to turn off powers, has good team fights, good pushing, just kind of what you want. And then the Yrel ban out against 2Calculated2Throw. They have played Yrel 5 times and have won 4 of them. So they have a really solid Yrel player there on 2Calculated. And of course that's going to be scary if you're on a map like Dragonshire where you have to be able to beat them. And if it's a matchup you're not used to or something you don't have a pick that you're comfortable consistently can beat a Yrel, especially rehearsed Yrel. It's good just to remove that. And 2Calculated2Throw is going to go ahead and pick up first pick Johanna. Very solid. Probably one of the best tanks in the game right now, if not the best tank in the game right now. So that's exciting. We all like a good Johanna. Tank players don't like Johanna that much usually. They find her boring to play because she just kind of exists, does it well. As we continue to move forward, there's the ETC pickup, the other top tier tank, and of course the Rhaegar picked up, so we're going to potentially be looking at some Bloodlust action out of ReGen Phoenix. As they move forward here, that's going to leave up things like Greymane, Illidan they've played before, Falstead, Twinblade Varian. What else did they play here that's auto attacker? That seems to be most of the auto attackers that they played. There's the Rexxar picked up and Deckard. I actually think ReGen Phoenix are going to look for the Kira as the counter to Rexxar. They do have a Kira player on the team. They have played it so far this season 1 time. They did lose with it, which means they didn't play it on Dragonshire, since they've won all their Dragonshire games. But it is a pretty solid counter to that Rexxar. And of course, Deckard is super good now with the Ruby, but also was just good before that if you had a good Deckard player with all the CC options he had. Tornado got some buff. There's actually Greymane being banned out by ReGen Phoenix, which is a little interesting, because Greymane just tends to be really solid with Bloodlust, and banning it out means that they're opting for something else that might be countered by the Greymane. Maybe they're looking more towards the Tracer option in this case, but we'll have to see what they want. Or maybe they're just going to go Ancestral and just play standard old school Rhaegar. Who knows? We'll have to see what that wolf wants here. 2Calculated2Throw are going to go ahead and ban out the Tracer. Makes a lot of sense. 1, that's really strong into the Rexxar, because you can go past Misha and dive him. And 2, it's hard for Deckard to lock down a Tracer because of how fast he is. There's going to be Artanis and Hanzo. So Artanis is going to go into that top lane more than likely, going to look for that stacking level 1, stack off with Misha, and just become an absolute monster going into the late game. That's going to be exciting to see how that plays out. And then Hanzo picked up as well. They played Hanzo one time, also with a loss. 2Calculated here, going to look for their last 2 pickups. They need basically their 2 DPS, or a DPS and a Flux here. They're going to go ahead and opt for the Genji Tassadar combo. Not the same combo as it used to be, but it's still a solid one. Genji, I think, is a little underrated, played primarily by people who don't understand how to play him, but I'm sure iFeed has that down, as they've already played Genji twice this season, and they've gone 1-1 with it so far, so obviously they're able to pull out some W's with that. And of course the Tassadar, they played one time, and they've lost with it. Both these teams are statistically very even, I believe with the exact same time to 10 down to the second. And then Kerrigan picked up here. This is the very first Kerrigan game this season in NGS by ReGen Phoenix. It's exciting as it gets, really just lovely things there. Who doesn't want ReGen Phoenix to have a Kerrigan? I mean, honestly, Kerrigan is just exciting to watch. It's going to be interesting. This is going to be, these teams are very close together. You can predict a game 3 going forward here as we enter into game 1 of 2Calculated2Throw in ReGen Phoenix. On the side of 2Calculated2Throw, on the Tassadar, we have Fear. We have X Havoc there playing Johanna, Colonel Pants on Rexar, iFeed playing Genji, and Z-Mill on Deckard. And on the side of ReGen Phoenix, we have Mudge on Artanis, Arrow playing the ETC, Rhea on the Rhaegar, Darabo on the Hanzo, and Rabid Penguin playing the Kerrigan. We're going to have to see how all this plays out in the end. Alright, Patience is saying that he went ahead and he's been able to get the caster tag, or the caster hopeful at least, or co-caster tag, so he'll be able to come back for game 2. But right now we're gonna have to play this out in game 1. We'll go ahead and tell him we'll see you game 2 as we go ahead and enter into Dragonshire 2Calculated2Throw versus ReGen Phoenix here. Both these teams looking really solid. Actor saying he doesn't really want ReGen Phoenix there to have Kerrigan. Of course, you guys are on a delay, so I'm seeing that a minute after you said it, because you're hearing them, or you're seeing them pick it a minute after I've seen them pick it. So it's all about that. We have some shoutouts here from in-game to out-of-game. We're going to see Bird build, it looks like, out of Rexar, so putting more power into the Rexar and taking them out of the hands of Misha. The Q talent there, Static Charge onto the Tassadar. Deckard's going Scroll of Identity, which was recently buffed. Prog Rock. It's actually Auto Attack Hanzo there, which is going to be nice with that Bloodlust. The swap there onto Johanna. The Condemn onto 3, though. The Deckard root hitting none, but it's going to be Colonel Pants getting down to half health. But Zamil there on the Deckard's also going down, potentially. He's actually going to get out because he's fine, because it's an old man. Nobody hurts an old man in the end. But all the CC there. Misha's going to be actually first blood here of the game as the teams continue to move forward. iFeed there chasing down the Hanzo a little bit. 3 stacks already on the Hanzo auto attack quest. Pretty solid overall. There's the Kerrigan combo onto Tassadar, but not quite enough follow-up at the moment from Hanzo. He's still just stacking, and it's going to be interesting. It's going to be the force wall into Kerrigan's death there. It's unfortunate for her. Not what you want to be if you're up to Kerrigan. 21 stacks already for the Artanis. He's stacking quite rapidly. 25 stacks already for the Tassadar Q as well. As we continue to look here, the teams are just rotating around. They're doing camps now as well. Hanzo even going to use his passive there. I can't remember the name. As he goes for that mid XP. I know the level 13 talent is Ninja Assassin. But we're going to call it Wall Jump for now. As now ReGen are also going to go ahead and pick up their siege camp here in the top lane. Mudge is a little low, but Misha's forced to back off. Colonel Pants there, forced to use his tap a little bit. And now the dive forward there by Misha. She's underneath the tower, but the swap's going to miss. She's going to go ahead and head up to that. Meanwhile, in the bot lane, ReGen's going to look for both the point here and to kill the enemy camp here. And it is going to go ahead and be the Ruby, of course, and the Hunter-Gatherer, the classic level 4 there for Rexar. The Force Wall already showing to be quite a powerhouse here on Fear. There's the Kerrigan combo onto 2, but then they're going to back off and go on to the Johanna here as they're still moving forward. Neither team really inching out a little bit, as Rapid Penguin is actually almost going down there to I-feed, diving that tower. Meanwhile, Rexar versus Artan here in the top lane, but here comes Dara Bro on the Hanzo, and Rexar is going to pay the price. The team's rotating around. They're getting a little pickoffs here and here. Here's the Kerrigan. Now she's down to 130 health. The Dragon's actually already picked up there for the 2Calculated there. Genji able to rotate quickly through. They had both capture points for a while, and able just to pick that Dragon up very quickly. Now, no one's actually defending it yet. It is an early Dragon Knight. It won't get much more than wall, I imagine, if that much. But another Deckard right there. He's only landed 2, but the 2 he's landed have both been, well, at least the first one was really solid. And he's had a lot of good zoning ones. Out of the way, 1 tower and the gate down mid. Dragon Knight's heading down here, already down to 24 seconds left on it as they move forward. Havoc here, though, a little low on mana. Would like to see him back off, maybe get some up here as well. Arrow stepping out, but there's the auto attack quest completed on Hanzo. He's actually gonna be able to start killing things really quickly if they're standing still. He also went ignore all distraction, killing a minion with his auto attack increases its range by 2 for 3 seconds, which is basically 3 auto attacks now. Natural agility. That's right. That's Hanzo's passive. There goes the Dragon Knight. They got basically 2 towers and 2 gates out of it. Which is a pretty solid, like, 2-minute Dragon Knight, to be honest. Like, early Dragon Knights like that don't do that much. There's the power slide forward there onto 2. The Deckard root trying to self-peel there by standing in the middle of it. They're trying to peel him back. They're still trying to throw CC, but they're not able to make him fall. 2-man Kerrigan combo. Hanzo in the back, though, and they're going to go ahead and take down the old man himself. Now Rapid Penguin's going to have to start to back off. Genji jumps forward there. But as he's moving forward, there's the reflect out of him. He's going to go ahead and use his cyber agility to back off. Rapid Penguin playing the dangerous game, keeping it low. But meanwhile, in the top lane here, we're just seeing them box back and forth a little bit. Now Havoc's going to keep getting hit by those auto attacks. We're going to have sharpened arrowheads now. Minus armor there on auto attacks and Q. We actually have shield battery coming out of the Artanis, going for more CDR here instead of the burstier shields when he's lower. Alright, bottom bruiser camp picked up there by ReGen. Meanwhile, 2Calculated going for top bruiser camp. And in the top lane, we just see Mudge and Colonel Pants doing Mudge and Colonel Pants things. Hanging out, making friends. The invade here on the siege camp coming out of ReGen. Arrow's positioned to check Bermuda, but unrealizing the enemy team's going to actually be coming from the opposite direction. They're going to go ahead and seal the camp away. But there's the force wall zoning 2 out. Genji's getting them low. Tassadar also helping out there. Tassadar does more damage than I think people realize. Like, he doesn't feel like he does a whole lot, like, if you're against him that often, unless he's, like, ulting you. But the Sidestorms do quite a bit here. He got, so it's Q movement speed, and then the auto attack does a Sidestorm. Not the same build that I go, but always intrigued. He's such a new hero, it's hard to necessarily say what the best build is just yet overall, besides level 16 where people crunch the numbers all the time on. But besides that, top lane, Mudge still working on clearing out that bruiser camp a little bit. Rexar just kind of chilling. He'll be able to do that stuff real quick. I-feed, pick up the mid-soak there for 2Calculated. There's the power slide forward on Johanna. Johanna's shield coming out as well. There's the root onto Arrow, though. There's the Hanzo Arrow, and they're going to go ahead and kill off Johanna here in the bot lane. Ultralisk going to fall down as well. They still have their camp here. Arrow still tickling a little low. Deckard's going to land another 2-man root there. Stack it up to 10 so far. We're halfway done with that quest already. And it is the Bloodlust there out of the Rhaegar. Interesting, though, it is going to be the Purifier Beam out of Artan. He's going to look to maybe force people to move around a little bit. Could be good on the Tassadar. His Q animation does take a while. Or could put it on the Deckard whenever he tries to ulti to force him. It is Dragon Blade out of the Genji. I like that. I've been doing Dragon Blade when I play Genji recently as well. Once again, the only level 7 talent on Genji. Check the stats at basically Plat Plus in Storm League. Anyone who plays Genji only goes at level 7. Full dash build, a little bit different from some people, but dash build versus dash build versus maybe not dash build with the Q quest still, yada yada. It's all crazy on Genji as well. He's been around for a while, but like no one really for sure, I think, has done the math. There's the Blessed Shield, though. Here comes the Dragon Blade. It's going to be the Black Hole as well. The route there onto the ETC. The Hanzo able to get out, but is Kerrigan in trouble here as she's on there with the Mosh is going to be interrupted. Bloodlust popped as well. Holy cow, I can't even talk. Keep up in time. Let's take another look at that fight real quick here. Give it a second to update the replay file. There we go. So now we see the two teams there on the bottom. Actually, hold on. Oh, as we actually see in the game there, there's going to be the Deckard ulti coming out as well. No kills out of it. Unfortunately, we can't really watch the replay now. But, actually we can. I actually adjusted that earlier today. But they're still fighting around the map, so we're going to have to keep watching them. These teams just absolutely deciding to just smack face into each other here. A little bit of XP advantage here right now for ReGen, but not a whole lot. Maybe they'll calm down here in a second. We can go back and watch that last fight again. But we see X-Havoc here and Arrow hanging out on the bottom point together, maybe having a tea party, playing some music, having a good time. There's the power slide onto Johanna. She's going to unstoppable Kerrigan ulti, but now it's going to be the Blessed Shield and the Deckard ulti in the Force Wall. The Kerrigan trying to jump forward down to 70 health, up to 130 before she ends up falling back down to the Tassadar. Hanzo's down here now. Rhaegar chill in the mid lane. Now the invade on the camp from 2Calculated2Throw here as ReGen continues to move forward. Keeping an eye on that with Arrow. He's going to look to maybe W that. He's actually using his W there instead of saving it for when the camp's down. But there's the Force Wall, the Decker route. A lot of zoning tools here out of 2Calculated. They've done a really nice job here. Being able to just zone out wherever they wanted to. Misha getting low there into Mudge. He's up to 172 stacks. That's equal to 17.2% increased auto attack damage. I feed up here now as well. Mudge trying to get out. He needs to maybe look for a swap here. He needs to start auto attacking if he wants shields. Down to 300 health, 99, and he's gone as well. It's another kill picked up there for 2Calculated. It's 4 kills to 3, but it feels like more. Here comes the silence out, or the sleep out of Deckard as the Johanna falls. The Hanzo arrow is going to miss, but the Bloodlust was popped there by Rhaegar. Tassadar was trying to stealth out there at 13, but is going to go ahead and fall down as well. I feeds down here now as well. So it is going to be the Shadow Walk at 13 there for Tassadar. We're going to see Roar out of Johanna, which if you've been paying attention to Reddit a couple weeks ago, they did go through, crunch the numbers, showing it was consistently the most damage. Hammers was theoretically the most damage, and the Burning Aura was just miserable. As we see the bottom Bruiser camp picked up here by ReGen, they're going to go ahead and secure that once again. I feed in Zamil there on the Deckard. Going to go ahead and take out their siege camp here. Top lane, just doing top lane things. There's the swap on the Colonel Pants though into the fort, but using Misha to stun out Mudge there as they go ahead and back off. I wouldn't mind at this point in the game seeing Genji rotate top, snap that will down when they have a minute. Bottom fort is going to go ahead and fall to ReGen here. Going to give him a lot more room here in the bot lane. Let me go ahead and move them forward here. They go ahead air on Colonel Pants. They miss the Kerrigan combo, but it doesn't matter. The Hanzo auto attacks are just too much at this point in the game. He did go ahead and pick up Ninja Assassin there at 13. Mudge just hanging out in the top lane still. I do like the 2 different colored blades on Artan. Don't normally play that skin, but I gotta say, having 2 different colored blades is nice. There's the Pool Kerrigan combo and the power slide there onto the Genji. He's gonna go down. The cleanse there coming out onto Kerrigan. The Force Wall used as well as Black Hole. Go ahead and look for this now. Now is the engage coming out with Johanna potentially, but it is a 3v4 currently. 2 members down, but there's the Hanzo ulti as well. Didn't feel like they really wanted that, but sending a message saying, I will stun you whenever I feel like it. Top wall, of course, has fallen now to Mudge. He's been up there by himself for a little while now. And we're going to go ahead and recap bottom. Hanzo still kind of hanging out mid, maybe looking to pick that up once he finishes channeling it. But Rexar in the top lane with Johanna is probably going to guarantee that they're going to not be able to cap this, which is true. The Tassadar Deckard keeping the mid lane from able to be capped here. Giant Slayer, of course. There's the Ultralisk and the combo there onto Tassadar. Though Deckard sleep tries to save him, but is unable to do so in time. The Ultralisk, of course, can't be put to sleep by Deckard's storytelling. It don't have no ears. I don't know if that's true or not, but I'm going to stick with it. Ultralisk has no ears. There's the ulti from Artan there onto the Rexar. Kerrigan up here as well as the Rhaegar now as well. There's just a matter of time before they catch him. He goes in and goes down. Mudge showing that Artanis could be the counter to Rexar you've been needing for your games here. 21.1% extra auto attack damage. Of course, if you remember, Nexus Blades gives you 20% extra attack damage, and that's a level 20 talent. So basically, his level 1 is now the equivalent of level 20. stacked up to that point. The Hanzo arrow, though, slows here onto the Johanna from the Rhaegar totem. Getting super low, misses the blind onto the Hanzo. Actually, no, he was blinded. He's got the little emblem there. Go ahead and gonna pick up the dragon there for Kerrigan, as they're gonna look for potentially bottom keep. No, they're gonna go for mid fort here. You know, you kind of do what you want when you have the dragon. It is not the base Artanis skin. It is one of his. It's definitely not the base. It might be a recolor with the rebase. I don't know. The dragon's gonna go ahead and push down mid fort here a little bit. Gonna give that extra passive XP here on the race to 20. The kick back there onto Rexar, which is also gonna leash Misha. So it's 2 for 1 there on that kick. Move that camera over for you all there. Power slide coming out there on the minion wave. The Hanzo's still going to be able to poke forward there on the Misha. He's going to look to head down bot, wave clear that up, maybe threaten a little bit more. Artanis able to pick up that top fort meanwhile, as they're really secured a lot of structural advantage here. And they are up 6 kills now on the side of ReGen. But we'll have to see how that continues to play out. They're still just using the dragon for his Qs, whittling down some of these mid-keep towers here. Hanzo arrow's going to miss in the top lane. Artanis Purifier beams up there as well. But Genji's trying to face him off as well. Down to 400 health, but it is an Artanis who's going to be able to shield back up here. iFeed diving forward there, trying to get out with the Cyber Agility. 300 health. I'm sorry you missed the Carrion Tassadar, but I'm excited. There's the Shermata brothers. Violence on violence. Brothers fighting each other. Oh, I don't really know StarCraft lore. The only WoW game or Blizzard game I played is HOTS and Hearthstone. The 2 ones that don't really have lore. Now we see ReGen gonna go ahead and steal away 2Calculated's Bruiser camp, which is gonna help Mudge a little bit in the top lane. I expect Mudge to start rotating out of that top lane a little bit here now that the fort's gone. Bottom stage camp now gonna be stolen away now as well. ReGen will probably just continue to paint this map red as they continue to look maybe for bottom bruiser here. They can clear out a wave here at least in the bot lane. Need to be careful of a flank. They do see at least one top. Now they see Rexar's up there. Genji just respawned. Now they can push forward the keep wall here. 1 almost gone. Johanna moving forward. 2Calculated were kind of looking for an engage there, but not able to find it before ReGen was able to back off. Now they're gonna move forward here, take this bottom bruiser. Kerrigan gonna work on their siege camp. Rexar in the top lane, killing minions. Johanna, Fear on the task, just kind of hanging out. Deathmosh picked up now, as well as the Bloodlust upgrade. Bullseye, which I've been seeing a lot more commonly now. Psionic Shift, which is actually a really good blink talent, really good. The extra shielding and Plasma Burn there for the Artanis. Would have enjoyed seeing the beam reset, but this is probably a more consistent talent for fighting Misha. ETC is going to go ahead and bump them back a little bit there with this W. Kerrigan's there. They're all kind of there. They're just hanging out as 5 down here in the bot lane. 5v4. Almost into a 5v6 when Rexar shows up with that Misha. Really 5.5. We all know Misha's the hero. Rexar's just the show. But Rexar's he's contemplating between going top and hanging out bottom here. No one's capped bottom for the side of ReGen. They're just kind of chilling with that camp, trying to get as much value out of it as they can. Always remember to push with your camps when you can. It helps. Bottom picked up here by ReGen Phoenix. They're using the Hanzo W to scout out now. iFeed trying to figure out who's all here. Fear's rotating down as well. Sidestorm to check the bush. Never face check bushes at level 20. Here's the sun there on to the ETC. Johanna rotating through the bottom point. Hunter Gatherer now finished there. Johanna's going to go ahead and attempt 2 as the Deathmosh comes out and hits 2, but so is the sleep. The Rhaegar there getting low. The Genji going to go ahead and fall down to the Hanzo. Shimada brothers showing who's stronger right now. The Kerrigan's going to miss her combo. Fear's going to use Shadow Walk out. Now it's Rhaegar still moving forward. Bloodlust is finally timed out now. Sidestorm going out there, trying to keep off the Deckard root. We're going to actually land on 1. Kerrigan combo into 2 now. There's the swap back there onto 1. Tassadar is going to fall, but so is Deckard. Kane. Johanna now the target of ReGen's aggression. There's the unstoppable pop now, as well as the blinded by the light talent. Misha getting low, but still being a bear. It's unbearable at times. I don't know why I try to randomly make puns. I'm sorry. Rhaegar going to go ahead and cap the bottom point now. Artanis is going to look for the top, and I imagine Rapid Penguin is going to stay here on the Kerrigan mid. See Johanna head top, but I don't think that's a fight Johanna wins. It's actually going to be Kala's gift here on the Tassadar. When you're close to him, you get spell power, and you give him more, up to 20% baseline, minimum of 4%. 4% spell damage for Tassadar, and then increased by 4 for everyone else around him. Allied heroes, up to 20. And it also is shared with allies in its zone. So, gonna help Deckard with some of those healing spell powers. As the Dragon Knight here moves forward, there's the power slide forward onto Johanna, quickly popped off there. Rexstar is gonna go have Purifier beam on him now as well. Artan's gonna go after him. He went ahead and died there, I guess, maybe. As he was hit by the Hanzo arrow. Never mind, he was just faking it. Now he's dead. The sleep there onto 2 from Deckard. Hanzo landing the Sonic arrow onto the Genji for the stun. Here comes Bloodlust onto the enemy core. This smells like GG here, coming out of ReGen, as they're going to go ahead and look to pick up Game 1. Dragon Blade going to be popped there at the end to no avail, as Game 1 goes over to ReGen Phoenix. Go ahead and take a look at the post-game stats here. Tassadar doing just really well for his team. Artan up there though, but the Hanzo, the unkillable 16 kill Hanzo, 88,000 hero damage. As we see that, Deckard topping the healing charts. Rhaegar not far behind for going Bloodlust. Self-healing, of course, goes over to Kerrigan. Let's go ahead and take a quick look at the last replay there from that early on fight that we saw. There we go. So we can see there's the Tassadar Q. The Johanna walks out, gets the condemn on 1. Kerrigan rotates down. Dragon Blade pop though, as well as the Black Hole lending out the stun there from Deckard. The root, not the stun. Kerrigan combo getting low. There's the Bolas just a hair too late, as they just try to back off now on the side of ReGen. Alright, we're going to go ahead and try to call patience. He did go ahead and get the caster. The caster approval. Welcome back, Patience.
Hello. Glad to be back.
How much of Game 1 did you watch?
Watched the most of it. That was a pretty good match to watch and very entertaining. A lot of team fights.
Yeah, non-stop fighting for sure. Go ahead and get you back into the party as well. And we just gotta wait for the teams to be ready for Game 2. So ReGen take Game 1, so it's gonna be 2Calculated choice once again. Do you think they opt to keep first pick, or do you think they pick a map that they're comfortable on going forward?
I mean, if it's a team that practices on maps and have specific strategies, they might go for the map pick, but first pick does have some advantage on picking up strong tank like Johanna and ETC. They seem to be the 2 tanks that's contested a lot. And I think somebody actually pointed out, I think it was in Heroic Division, that Johanna and ETC are the only tanks that actually has more than 50% win rate.
Yeah, that's why I know some people, including myself, have decided that if the enemy team doesn't first pick a tank in your second pick, you just take them both and go, what now? We have both the tanks. What are you going to do? It's really a solid front line. They both can offlane very well as well. Wouldn't be surprised to see that become a prevalent strategy if after the next balance patch they don't buff some other tanks and or nerf those 2 as well. So I'm excited for it. But let's get back to talking about this. So 2Calculated2Throw, it's their choice. You said that if they have a practice map, maybe going there. That's of course a comfort one. I think the only map they need to be worried about at the moment could be Braxis. Because then that's another map that you have to win the offlane, similar to Dragonshire. So do you think ReGen are potentially looking at Braxis as the next map choice if they get it?
Could be it. I mean, the Artanis was pretty solid. Ended up getting almost close to, I think, almost 300 stacks, I think, on the level 1 quest, which was 30% boost in the auto attack damage.
Yeah. Pretty crazy.
I'm kind of interested to see if there are any target bans that's coming based on game number 1.
We could potentially see the Artanis and Rexar banned out if we end up in Braxis. It is actually going to be Braxis holdout, as we call that. Hello, Lily. Yes, we have the bow tie.
Hi, Lily.
So team one. So it does look like 2Calculated2Throw did decide to opt to keep the hero pick going forward, and it looks like ReGen did go ahead and say our offlaner could win last game. Expect him to win again. Let's go ahead and head to Braxis holdout. What can you tell us about this map, Patience, as I go ahead and rename you Patience from Rabies?
I think a lot of the same things that I said on Dragonshire. Again, offlane focus here. You have to be able to cap both objectives, top and bottom. And again, picks like Sylvanas is great to make the Zerg push even stronger.
We saw that bend out last time.
And then we also have to both teams probably want to draft some sort of a wave clear in case they do need to defend. So yeah, I mean, and I think there were some interesting rotations that 2Calculated2Throw made with the Genji between top to the off lane and back for some of the ganks that did not go in the favor of winning the game in game number one, but they might also play out the similar strategy of rotating somebody up to the top to help out the offlane. So we'll see what kind of interesting picks that we might see there. We've seen like Zeratul doing that before, some of the stealth characters doing that. Junkrat has done that because he could just use the mine to jump over walls to make a quick rotation. Sometimes Lucio. So yeah, we'll see.
All right, so ReGen Phoenix have played the map one time so far, and they lost it. They have banned it 4 times, which might hint that they might not like it. A lot of teams, even if you're good at Braxis, tend to not like Braxis because it's kind of seen as a risky snowballing map. On the other hand, 2Calculated2Throw seems to be playing the standard Korean style of we don't ban Braxis, you don't ban Braxis, and we agree to not pick Braxis. So we'll have to see how that works in their favor here. Or it could hint that they're not afraid to go to Braxis. They just don't want to pick it, and give it away just yet. Because it is an interesting map to have later on in the season. Like, people see you're not banning it, they see you're not taking it, they're not scared of taking you there. They might also figure that you hate the map as well, so you're not going to take them there. And then later on in the season, you're just like, let's go to Braxis constantly, because we're ready for it. It's also a solid Cho'Gall map. I would love to see a Cho'Gall.
I'd love to see Cho'Gall. That's always an interesting hero to see and how it's drafted. And I'm sure since Mega Muffin's watching it, he would love to see Cho'Gall.
As the healer extraordinaire that you are, Patience, how do you feel about the Deckard versus Rhaegar matchup as we see Sylvanas banned?
I'm a fan of both. Rhaegar is probably the most played hero on my account. And then that's how I got started on a healer. So I have a first love for Rhaegar. But Deckard has a pretty good disengage with the Bloodlust, which has been very favored lately to Ancestral. So it's a matter of how each ult is getting used. And of course, for the Rhaegar Bloodlust to work, you have to draft to get a lot of value out of that. You want a lot of auto attackers and prevent the enemy team from having a lot of disengages, like blinds, sleep, Stukov swipe and all that. So Ana is banned. That's kind of interesting.
Ana's been played 4 times so far by 2Calculated2Throw. 1 game off from being one of their top 3 most played. She's 2-2 currently. We see the Yrel ban once again because the offlane priority and the Alaric ban once again. Because people just really don't like to face Alaric. Which is fair. He can be annoying. Silence in general is just hard to deal with. 2Calculated this time saying, instead of the Johanna, let's go ahead and play the ETC. I imagine ReGen will pick the Johanna in this case then. ReGen, of course, having played Johanna 4 times, but I've only won 1 of them. Meanwhile, ETC has been played 3 times, and they've won twice with it on the side of 2Calculated2Throw. It's going to go ahead and be the Deckard Tassadar, in fact, actually not picking up Johanna here. Not really the map you want to go Johanna offlane on, though, so I don't think 2Calculated2Throw will pick it. Maybe they'll ban it going forward, but ReGen opting saying we want the Tassadar Deckard. These teams might just be swapping drafts this game.
That's what I was thinking as they picked up Tassadar and Deckard. They could still pick Johanna for the main tank because they can swap heroes here. as ETC offlane, but
They're not going to go for a hard swap I feed instead of Genji's going to be on the Grey main, and Ektar playing Malfurion. So, was Ektar in the last game?
sorry,
Did Ektar play game 1?
I don't think so.
Ektar was in chat a lot. I don't think Ektar played game 1. So there was a little bit of a swap-a-rooney there on the side of 2Calculated2Throw, if we're not mistaken. That's exciting. Swapping out some players as well as some heroes as we see. ReGen Phoenix going to go ahead and ban out Junkrat. He really is just, he's a solid, annoying hero. It's really just what his kit is. Someone described Junkrat's kit once as, let's take the most annoying abilities we can think of and throw them all on one character. And that was Junkrat.
Do you think they're gonna ban out Johanna here?
I think it would behoove them to. I think it would really benefit them to ban it out. If they did, then they're looking at Diablo, Garrosh, Blaze, Muradin. So they've played a variety, very uneven, on the side of ReGen Phoenix here for tanks so far this season. They're going to go ahead and opt to ban out the Garrosh, saying that's a bigger threat to the Grey main. Excuse me. Even though ETC is considered, like, by some people, even a better counter to Garrosh than Johanna is. So we're going to have to look to see that going forward here. Ektar in. Ektar was not, so it is confirmed Ektar was not. Ektar didn't play game 1. According to Ektar, Ektar did not play game 1. So we see Raynor Thrall here, so actually hiding the main tank pick, which is a little interesting. Or maybe it's main tank Thrall. Who knows? They could also just go into like 4 assassins in a Deckard, and that would probably still have plenty of CC on the side of ReGen Phoenix.
Yeah, I was kind of wondering if they're planning to go without a tank and more of the bruiser like front line here, but
we're going to see the Jaina and Imperius coming out of 2Calculated2Throw. A good Imperius is always fun to watch, and of course Jaina just solid. Jaina Greyman have been a solid combo for a while now. Of course, you also have Malfruit's Power Slide, being able to hold people in Blizzard, as well as Imperius Stun, and then you can do Imperius Power Slide into Bullet, into combos from Jaina. There's a lot of good things on the board here for 2Calculated2Throw. As long as the Imperius can beat Thrall, which is what I currently believe to be the offlane from ReGen Phoenix, and they are going to actually get to last pick Johanna here. It's going to help out. Johanna just solid tank overall. Which draft would you say you like better right now, Patience?
Based on the healers, because I really try to avoid to play Malfurion here. I go with the side of ReGen, but since ReGen took game 1, I would love to see 2Calculated2Throw to take game 2, so that we get to see game 3.
Of course, everyone rooting for game 3 unless you specifically enjoy A team more. As we're going to see 2Calculated2Throw versus ReGen Phoenix game 2 on Brax's holdout. We have Jaina playing by Fear, X Havoc on the ETC, Colonel Pants playing Imperius, I Feed on the Greyman, and Ektar playing Malfurion.
And on the side of ReGen Phoenix, we have Arrow on Johanna, we have Deribo on Tassadar, Mudge on Thrall, Aria on Deckard, and Rabbit Penguin on Raynor.
Alrighty, we're heading into game 2 here. Brax's holdout, an always exciting map. Sometimes it's super snowbally, sometimes it lasts 30 minutes. It's always one or the other, it's never in between. Who do you guys think in chat will take the first boss? Not who do you think is going to win the game, but who's going to take the first boss? Is it ReGen, Phoenix, or is it 2Calculated2Throw? Say your answers in chat, because I don't take the time to make polls, because I don't really know how to do that. We can do instant replay technology, but we can't do polls here. I don't know. We're going to see Ace in the hole there, out of Raynor. Of course, it's going to be Echo. It's going to be the Hold Your Ground. Fingers of Frost, Viciousness, Rejuvenation there on Malfurion. As the teams begin to clash here, we actually see 2 members of ReGen here in the top lane here. Shout out to Recyclic and Lily here in chat. So shoutouts from them. To continue to butcher everyone's name. So we want meat here. I didn't drop the talents for the time being because these teams are positioning widely across the map here in the bot lane. Some in the top bush, some in the bot bush. There's the run forward there by Arrow. The Psystorm going to go ahead and clear that off now. They're going to go ahead and collapse on them. That would have been subdue done there on the Johanna if she could pick that earlier on. That'd be an interesting change-up. Do you think Subdue would be okay if it was at level 1? The power slide forward on Johanna, though, she doesn't have Unstoppable this time. They're still driving forward, but they're rooted underneath the tower, and that's going to be the death of ECC. He tried to die forward there, but it's going to be, unfortunately, a kill onto him because of it. Give it a second here. Let's go ahead and take another look at that. Never mind. I pressed the wrong button, so we didn't get to see that replay. In the top lane, meanwhile, Rabid, Penguin, and Mudge just kind of hanging out with Colonel Pants here. I really just, a lot of people names in this game are just fun.
Seems like ReGen Phoenix played that really well. They were down a member at the bottom, but I ended up getting the first kill instead. In the meantime, Colonel Pants did a good job playing safely not to get ganked at the top by the 2 members of ReGen Phoenix.
Both teams picking up their easy camp here as Johanna's trying to get the top, bottom point here. But in a 2v4 scenario, they're just going to go ahead and back off now. In the top lane, meanwhile, Mudge is actually getting low a little bit as Colonel Pants works to clear out that siege camp. Greymane's now going to rotate up there as well. Let's go ahead and see what ends up playing out up here. Touches the point but doesn't do anything. Rapid Penguin is going to... Rabid. Oh, I keep wanting to make that a P. It's going to go ahead and spot him out. Mudge is going to go ahead and tap. Meanwhile, in the bot lane, Arrow's a little low, but not much else. X Havoc here in the bot lane. Going to go ahead and pick up those globes. Now we're going to see the push forward in the 3v3 here in the bot lane. As level 4 talents are picked up as well. Fear getting a little low now. There's the power slide back from the ETC. The Johanna down to 415 health. Still backing off here. The root coming out from Deckard. Nothing too crazy. The Blizzard from Johanna. We probably should have been watching top. That was a more exciting fight. There was actual death up here. As the Colonel Pants is going to land the Imperious Stun. Rabid Penguin going to get chunked there by iFeed. The Greymane, of course, known for both his burst and sustain damage. Thrall's going to head back up top lane. Johanna's going to rotate back down bot lane. See the team's regen. Oh, there's the knockback there onto the Deckard, though, but he's going to move to the top lane. There's the Deckard root zoning. Deckard, very good zoner. We saw it in Game 1. We're seeing it again in Game 2. Just the giant roots into choke points, making it hard for people to commit to walk through there. Greymane's back down here in the bot lane now. The root there onto the Deckard. He's down to, or onto the Greymane, down to 53 health at one point. He's going to go ahead and back off now as well. He's going to go ahead and actually go all the way back to the fountain. And we're going to go ahead and start picking up some channel percentage here for the ReGen team now. 82% already picked up here on the side of 2Calculated. They're trying to get a kill here. They now have Jaina in the top lane. Greenman's rejoining bot now. Gonna go ahead and poke at Arrow a little bit there, and the Tassadar. The press forward picked up on Imperious there for the off lanes for that extra armor from ReGen Globes. It does sustain a little bit longer as well. The auto attacks. And these teams, they really just like fighting, don't they? They fought a lot in Game 1, especially early on. They're fighting a lot now. They're not resulting in a lot of deaths, but they result in a lot of damage being done. As ReGen Phoenix will go ahead and pick up the first wave as Arrow's getting super low now as well. He's actually going to go ahead and fall, but a 3-man root there out of Deckard. Kane unable to finish them, though, with the Tassadar there. Now it's up to them on the side of 2Calculated to try to clear it out.
Yep, the top lane, the 2-3 strategy for ReGen Phoenix has been working out pretty well. With the Imperious lacking and wave clear, they have been able to get the wall top as well as the well, as the Zerg wave phase is kind of coming to an end.
Not much picked up by either team now. Really just a couple, like 8 tower for 2Calculated and a gate, and no actual secured buildings down. But now the power slide followed by the Imperious and that mouth root, that's just all the CC there onto the Thrall. It was a sad day for him. Now they're going to go ahead and invade the siege camp here, as they do have 4 members of 2Calculated up here as well. Rabid Penguin going to go ahead and pick up that top soak a little bit. iFeed down here in the bot lane going to be condemned. The Tassadar Size Storm, double Size Storm even, because of the Q talent there at 7. Or it's the Size Storm talent technically at 7. Now Bruiser Camp also stolen away there by 2Calculated. ReGen gonna have to clean up the map a little bit now from all these camps, but they're still gonna have top well, which is gonna benefit them in the long run. Now we're gonna see the siege camp and 2Calculated just painting this map red. How do you feel about that, Patience?
I think it's really good that they are going around and picking up these camps for XP as well as denying it from the other team, especially given that they were not able to get the higher percentage on the Zerg wave from the previous objective. But they really need to find an answer for the Reigner Throw combo at the top.
I did like the Jaina and Pierce. It did feel like a pretty solid choice. Or they could just do a lane swap here as well. ReGen gonna go ahead and do some clearing here in the bot lane. In the top lane, meanwhile, Mudge there gonna be zoned out. There's the Imperius and the power slide, and just instantly bursts it down once again. And I think it's this button. Yeah, we can see 3 deaths already there on Thrall. No more than 1 on anyone else, unfortunately. But that's the trouble with offlaning sometimes, especially against roaming comps or just heavy CC comps, is that sometimes you just get picked off, and it's rather unfortunate, but it happens to everyone. Sometimes that's just the name of the game there. Meanwhile, in the bot lane, the Malfurion and Imperius are going there. They got the Tassar down to half health, but the shield talent at 4, just kind of giving him all the extra buffiness he needs. All the way down to the Ring of Frost, but I feed diving underneath the towers and go ahead and go down as well. ETC died as well top lane to the tower, so actually
There was a mob dive under the tower, which got a pick, but they ended up losing 2 members at the same time.
Now Malfurion's down as well as Archon had been popped there, but Archon not enough shielding there as the Imperius lands all of his ulti, and that does Q there onto Johanna. That's another 2 kills here, 7-4 right now in favor of 2Calculated. Pierce is gonna hang out bot lane. It looks like 2Calculated they're doing a lane swap-a-rooney here to try to handle this Thrall Raynor, as well as the fact that they want to finish off the top here. Mudge gonna eat the bullet once again there from the Grey Mane, get chunked down, but Decker's gonna be able to keep him up as well, be able to back off, grab that XP now from the wave. His level 10s are finished being picked now. Throw picking up a late Sunder, but that's alright. Just kind of figuring out what he needed there for his options. And I like this on their pickup. The extra CC could help. Furion went the silence. Everything looks pretty solid. There's the Sunder and the Condemn there onto Fear. The Ring of Frost as the counter, but the Deckard sleeping on the zone out there. Throw going to eat another bullet. IFU just throwing those out on cooldown because why not? It's only 20 seconds. Power slide forward is it now. It's ReGen's turn to dive under. Rabid Penguin going to get hit by the Malfruit, losing armor, but is not able to be killed just yet. The Deckard potions behind him already set up, able to heal him back up as ReGen look to finish off the top for it. They will go ahead and pick it up now. Mudge, though, may end up paying for his life. There's the task wall, though. Gonna go ahead and save it. ATC's actually gonna fall. Pierce not able to land his ulti. Not quite far enough there to weave it through to hit Mudge. And 1 for 0, and they got Fort here on the side of ReGen. They're trying to pick up the pace now quite a bit. Looks like they were just waiting for their 10s. Siege camp picked up there by 2Calculated. Mudge here in the bot lane needs to be careful. He's going to see the Imperius, going to go ahead and back off. That's one scary set of pants there on Imperius. Oh, the stun there from the Imperius onto Mudge once again, and he's going to fall down once again. The burst powers of 2Calculated just being too much for them to handle right now.
2Calculated2Throw has been using Imperius as the engage tool, and it has been paying off for them so far.
Here's that Q build, Imperius coming out from him as well. Now we have the ETC, and we have a 5v4 here in the bot lane. Of course, Thrall not alive at the moment to be able to join this fight. I'm gonna go ahead and pick up talents once again. We weren't sure if they were going to fight there. ETC going to zone out on the top bush, but they're going to be scouted out there by the Johanna. Malfruit comes out as well. There's the little train guy hanging out, saying hello, giving high fives all around. Imperius able to pick up the top point. 80% now on the objective picked up for 2Calculated. This is about where they were last time, and then ReGen were able to pick it up and just get the whole channel off in time. So we'll have to see how that plays out for them. Another bruiser camp picked up there on the side of 2Calculated, but ReGen here just focusing down buildings instead, as they look to flank here with the ETC Imperius. The Sunder comes out, Task Wall comes out, here's the Hyperion as well, the root there onto Jaina, she's already down below half. Here comes the Mosh there onto 2, the Ring of Frost as well as the Malfurion roots. Ring of Frost actually hitting 3 there, also hitting the Archon Tastar. He's trying to back off now as well, but he's not going to be able to make it as more CC comes out from 2Calculated. Let's take another look at that. This time I hit the right button. You can see the Sunder, the Force Wall there. It looks like it's going to be a solid disengage coming out of the ReGen, but they get caught out by Imperius and the Mosh Pit, and they just get CC'd down too fast. So
in the meantime, 2Calculated2Throw is working on the boss, and they hope to get this push with the boss with the Zerg objective.
If you had guessed 2Calculated to get the first boss of this game, you would have been correct. As now they're going to move 2 members up top here, try to secure the last 4% that they need. But here comes the Blessed Shield of Johanna, the Condemn, as well as the Deckard root. Here's the Sleep now from Deckard onto 3. The Mosh or Power Slide there to help him get out, but it's the Jaina there in trouble in her ice block. Raynor going to try to run down X Havoc here, going to go ahead and secure that kill as well. 2 kills now for the side of ReGen. That's going to give them the space they need. They're probably not going to be able to save this fort, but at least they can defend their keep wall pretty well against this push.
It's really unfortunate that they had it going. If they were all alive and pushing with the bottom lane, that would have been a very strong push. But now ReGen Phoenix kind of gets a free clear of both objectives.
Yeah, now they go ahead and they do lose the fort, of course, but how much of this wall are they going to be able to save? There goes their gate. Gonna lose a tower here. This is the, oh, Deckard trying to back there. They're actually not even going to lose that tower there. Gonna go ahead and stay alive. This is the moments where Exterminator would have really paid off there. Cleared that super fast, but they didn't really need it. They were able to do quite a bit of clearing here as both teams are going to start looking top here. The tanks are going to meet here in this push. But which team is going to be able to look for that kill better? And just actually going to disengage there with the power slide. ReGen going to try the siege camp out though as the level 16s picked up here on the side. 2Calculated, they're going to move in. ReGen's going to back off. Doesn't look like ReGen fully wants to give this up, even down 16 talents here. They're checking that bush for Colonel Pants. They find him there. How much more can they find? There's the tasks that are damaged, but the siege camp already capped, but there's the Johanna going to eat the bullet. She's going to go down. They were even able to have the burst necessary. That's the power of bullet. Even front lines aren't safe from burst. Bruiser camp still on the way now as well. And Mudge trying to figure out if he's safe to clear this out in the top lane or if he needs to go back. Force wall there for Tassadar. There's the power slide though. The Ring of Frost in the mosh pit. Tassadar is going to go ahead and almost get saved there by the sleep, but not quite enough. He's going to fall down as well. Now it's 2 down here on the side of ReGen. 2Calculated going to continue to push forward here. It is the extra cone width there at 7 Head knows that yet on Jaina. But that's alright. People are diving in. People are doing all kinds of things. Here comes the Hyperion to help try to clear this out as well. There's the Sunder coming out onto 2 there from the Thrall. Johanna running forward now as well. There's the silence from Malfurion, but the assault flare from Johanna is going to keep them alive. Greyman's going to fall, but Imperius is getting low, but so was Arrow. Now Arrow's going to heal back up from those potions behind him, and Colonel Pants is going to fall. Ooh, it's the stun staff out of Deckard. How do you feel about that talent?
I'd rarely take it, but it is it actually gets a lot of value, especially when heroes like Greymane actually dives, and that little stun kind of gives them a little bit of a hiccup.
Yeah. So ReGen looking to invade the enemy bruiser camp here. They're just trading bruiser camps here, back and forth, no big deal. Tasks are clearing out that top wave so that camp has something to push with here. Bottom camp, meanwhile, is going to push out that wave for the side of 2Calculated, but looks like ReGen are going to go ahead and go clear that now as they go ahead and start to pick up the early channel here on this third objective of Brex's holdout.
Seems like both teams are more interested in taking the camps from the opposite side, which is kind of interesting.
Teams playing a little bit of ring around the rosy here. They don't want to be separated. They want to stay as 5. and most importantly, they want to get 20 first. They want to also jump the enemy here. Taz starts showing a lane. This is going to give 2Calculated a chance to just run up and go ahead and kill that top fort finally, evening out some of this structure damage. Not quite even. It's still in 2Calculated's favor now, I'd say. But 2Calculated's wave going top, ReGen's going bottom. Both teams still posturing around, and Boss has respawned. So we're going to go ahead and see how this plays off. Not sure which team's going to actually get the jump here. They're slowly working their way towards each other. Both teams checking the same bush on opposite sides, checking Boss. But they're going to go ahead and see Johanna now. Realizing that they're on opposite sides here, we'll have this up just in case someone gets 20 in the fight. There's the Oracle picked up this time, so he was using that vision there. I was seeing him last game where he had Shadow Walk picked up.
I like the fact that both teams are playing pretty safe and using abilities to check the bushes instead of face checking. But now they're just back to going around in a circle for the both capping point.
On the race to 20, we do have ReGen slightly ahead. The difference is only 2 kills between these teams so far. It's been a pretty even, pretty back and forth game so far. A couple more percentage now picked up for ReGen. Up to 46% now. They are, again, we have 2Calculated trying to push forward for the keep here, but here comes the flank from ReGen. There's the stun from Imperius, the Condemn coming out, the sleep coming out from Deckard, as well as the Sunder. There goes the Jaina down, but the Ring of Frost was down as well. Now it's Mudge there on the throw. He's in trouble, but he's still alive. There's the silence from Furion now, though. There's the Mosh Pit onto one in the back. We see the Rainer up here. But there goes the Thrall now to the Imperius. Ektar getting low there on the Malfurion. He's going to go ahead and fall down to Hyperion now. The Rainer moving forward there, but the Greyman's going to go ahead and turn Burn Sam down as well. 3 people left alive for both teams. There's the stun there, and then the knockback onto the Jaina. Or Johanna, the other J1, on this fight. Now we're seeing the race forward here. Can they catch out Colonel Pants? Havoc there, going to try to zone out the Deckard. Root coming out to try to catch him. The blind from Johanna keeps him dismounted. Greyman ran all the way up to the top lane. He's already up there clearing, but now it's going to be ReGen Phoenix once again channeling the point here in their favor. Will they catch X Havoc here at the top point?
I think that teamfight could have gone much worse for the side of 2Calculated2Throw, but
Let's just shield Tassadar wall as well. They're just able to CC and trap the ETC. Unfortunately for him, they didn't even get any percentage, but this is going to force the ReGen team to walk back to bottom lane, as they also have 20s now. And of course we see Twilight Archon, aka Infinite Archon. Pierce jumping there onto Johanna, but is going to take half his health bar as punishment for it. ReGen saying, you can't hit our arrow. Top point picked up once again by 2Calculated2Throw as the teams continue to play Ring Around the Rosie. We now have Death Mosh picked up here on the side of ETC. I'm going to take another drink.
They have to play safer now because their main tank is down. But I think Imperius has been doing a really good job seizing the enemy team. Did a great job saving from the previous team fight as well. But now ReGen Phoenix is moving up to the top point to get the objective.
As the ones, once they saw they were channeling 2Calculated once again, retaking bottom there. Now they're going to go ahead and clear out that bruiser camp. But ReGen might have an opportunity to collapse on them here. Feed going to go ahead and use all of his mobility options to go ahead and back out of that fight. ReGen showing bottom. They're going to go ahead and pick up bruiser camp now, as well as top point. Are they going to, how many percentage they're going to be able to pick up a little bit here on the side of ReGen? Only 2% left now on this before ReGen pick it up. And we're able to pick up 20s now on the side of 2Calculated. This is going to be another camp picked up here by ReGen. I imagine, yeah, they're going to go pick up the siege. Bottom objective is going to be picked up by 2Calculated. And these teams just need a reason to fight right now. And the reason they'll fight is someone goes ahead and gets this channel done. So that way someone has a wave to push with and someone has a wave that they have to defend. Here comes a bush party though. It looks like 2Calculated decided they were done playing Ring Around the Rosie. And they want to fight. But I feed here out in front could become an issue. Imperius is going to be scouted out there by Johanna. They're checking the boss in case that's where they were on the side of 2Calculated. Tassadar showing, of course, clearing the wave. They're going to go ahead and start positioning here on the side 2Calculated to maybe look for that. ETC is now going to be scouted out. Arrow just using that flashlight saying, what's in this bush? What's in that bush? Shout out to
Both
Carbot.
teams know that this fight might be the deciding factor for game number 2 and playing really safe and setting up a lot of traps.
Yeah, constantly scouting these bushes, constantly deciding if they want to be in the bush, out of the bush, through the bush, where they want to be to try to figure out where the enemy team is. They're really just playing around this. We could see this for almost 2 minutes, and then the bruiser camp will spawn, and they'll fight over it, potentially. Meanwhile, there is a bruiser... actually, no, that camp's already been cleared. Top lane. So, nice weather. Colonel Pants trying to distract ReGen now with chat messages. Another flashlight from Johanna here. Now, ReGen are in a position where they could potentially be collapsed on here. ETC gonna look for the wraparound. There's the Ring of Frost onto one. Johanna also getting out. There's the Sunder though. The ETC gonna be able to go onto the Tassadar there. Thrall's gonna be the first to fall, followed by Johanna. The Deckard Sleep gonna catch one, but it's iFeed there on the Greymane getting low. Malfurion getting low as well, but the Force Will gonna be able to save him now as well. Jaina's trying to get to the Deckard there, but Tassadar is gonna go ahead and get caught out as well as the Greymane's gonna go ahead and fall to the Raynor. It is 3 kills to 1 right now. There's all the CC, though, coming out onto Rabid Penguin. He's unfortunately going to fall as well. Now it's going to be 2Calculated2Throw running down bot lane. They're going to go ahead and take that keep. They know they can't really get that wave, so they're just going to go for core without it. Here comes the fireworks. The core improvement, of course, was to celebrate 4th of July. As it looks like this is going to be game 2 going over 2Calculated2Throw patience.
I think so. The shortest death timer is 15 seconds, and the core is already down to 50%.
Twilight Dream used on the core there. Decker reared now back. I don't think fireworks can even save him at this point. I think this game's just over, as it is in fact over. As 2Calculated2Throw decide they're going to take us to game 3 here. Go ahead and check the in-game stats, and then I actually have a special replay to review with you guys. See here, we see Tassadar, top of the hero damage. I imagine he'll end up being banned out in game 3, don't you think?
I would think so.
Alright, we see Imperius topping the self-healing here. Let's go ahead and check out that replay from earlier. You can see here, this is that fight in the bot lane. Right before they started their ring around the rosies, we see the Hyperion pick off the Malfurion there. We see iFeed jumping forward there, getting the kill on Raynor. And this was kind of when 2Calculated felt like they kind of got some of their momentum back before they ended up running off here. But they still had it. They got 2 kills. They kind of caught up in XP a little bit. They were able to position in such a way that they could kind of catch. I mean, besides just catching up, though, like they kind of got some momentum back. They made some breathing room for themselves. Yeah, they relaxed. Yeah, they lost 2. It was technically an even fight. Yeah, they got chased off, but up to that point, it kind of felt like they might be in a bit of trouble for a while there, but that felt like the fight to me that they were able to start coming back on. Of course, Patience can't see it, so he doesn't know what I'm talking about.
I kind of have an idea which fight that you're talking about. But in the last team fight, that really was the deciding team fight at the end. I really respect both teams' patience. In terms of trying to set up and also using abilities to check each bush, not to walk into each other's trap. But I think 2Calculated2Throw had a little bit of a vision and better engage angle, and then they were able to pull off and land some combos together to tilt the momentum in their favor.
Alright, so that's both the maps where the off lane is a heavy deciding factor. We've seen Dragonshire, now we've seen Cursed Hollow, we saw Braxis. I read Cursed Hollow, and that's not even for us yet. If you're ReGen Phoenix, do you opt to finally have first hero pick, or do you opt to have map pick once again?
I think strong offlane maps has been working for them. Again, they were doing pretty well until that very last team fight post level 20. If there, I forget the bans and bans. But if there is another offlane strong map, they might opt to pick it again. Or maybe this time that they'll actually end up going for first pick.
The map bans, of course, being Alterac and Volskaya by ReGen, and 2Calculated banned out Sky Temple and Towers of Doom. So I don't really know if there's an offlane heavy map. At least there's nothing left in the map pool at all compared to Braxis and Dragonshire for sure.
Mm-hmm.
As for what else it could be, I don't know. Oh, yeah.
So
No lobby's been made yet, so we still don't know where we're going. Based on their performances so far, would you pick a favorite to win Game 3 here?
Oh, I'm not sure. I think there are a lot of targeted events that might be coming, which means that we'll probably get to see a lot of heroes that we haven't seen in Game 1 and Game 2. I 2Calculated2Throw was looking a little scary in terms of just giving the entire matchup tonight over to ReGen Phoenix, but they did have the tenacity to keep fighting, to change the momentum and come back. So, as the stats showed before our matchup started tonight, they are very even teams, and I think it's going to come down to small advantage that one team can get over the other.
Alrighty, Game 3. It looks like ReGen Phoenix opted to have first pick this time around, and that gave 2Calculated2Throw the option of map, and they chose the one, the only Infernal Shrines. Tell us about the map, Patience.
This map, you have to get those minions, some people call them monkeys, at the objective point to win Punisher. We have Arcane, we have Frozen, and Mortar, I believe. 3 different type of Punishers that you can use to siege that particular lane. With the tower changes, of course, Frozen is the most powerful one, I believe. Again, to make better use of the Punisher, you could use heroes like Sylvanas and so on. But I think the teams have not been really using those. Either team, I don't know if you're going to see it in this particular one. Because of the tower changes too, some teams have also opted to push another lane while the Punisher's doing the job in that lane as well. So I'm interested to see what each team is going to go with, and also see what kind of target bans we're going to see.
Right, so they're working on adjusting. We actually have Ektar back in chat, and Ektar not playing out in this game as well. I think Ektar did very good in Game 2. I don't mind seeing him back in Game 3.
Yes, definitely.
iFeed felt like he did very solid there in the Greymane. He did really well in the Genji too. So honestly, like iFeed's just been doing solid so far this whole series. Mudge just seems to be he had a rough game too. Kept getting ganked, but that's all right. Sometimes that just sometimes that just happens. Sometimes you just get rotated on. You get CT chained out of bushes. Like you can't check every bush every time, and if you're not used to rotation styles, it's fine. Even if you are, you're still gonna get caught out at times. Like you just can't help it. But he had a great game 1. Like Mudge was a really solid game 1. So
I agree with you, definitely.
I'm really looking forward to both these teams. Maybe we'll see a Leoric. I don't know why I randomly want to see a Leoric, but I do. I also want to see Cho'Gall still. Cho'Gall on Infernal Shrines isn't bad at all. It's very solid on this map.
Yeah, I believe we've run that before when we were on You're Not Alone, or at least practiced it.
And bring my NGS champion pin. Can't really read it on cast, but it's there.
Do we know if any teams have played Cho'Gall yet in any divisions, or maybe even Division A East? Because
I am not aware of it. Neither of these teams have played Cho'Gall to date. But ReGen Phoenix have played TLV, which I'd be excited for. They also played things like Illidan. Yeah, I guess those are their 2 spiciest picks. Kira's there.
Actually, one team has played Cho'Gall so far in Division E East, and that's Gilishar. And they played against 2Calculated2Throw on A East, and they played against 2Calculated2Throw on Volskaya. So 2Calculated2Throw has some experience playing against Cho'Gall, at least, while they have not played Cho'Gall.
Don't ban probe, please. Let's see. On the side, 2Calculated2Throw. We've seen the Genji already. They also play the Zeratul, the Urel that keeps getting banned out. Some Uther, but I don't know if that was tank Uther or not. Beyond that, there's picks, some a little bit Lunara, some KT, some Junkrat. Pretty much your standard picks. Besides the Genji, some Zeratul, and Urel. Those aren't necessarily unstandard, but they're not necessarily as high of a pick rate as the other ones.
Mm-hmm.
But we're waiting for the ready from ReGen, and then we're going to go ahead and find out what these teams want to play on Infernal Shrines in Game 3 of this series. Gonna go ahead and get the all ready now from ReGen, then the countdown from Fear, who's the host, and we'll get started. Are you excited for Game 3, Patience?
Oh, definitely. These teams have shown us an excellent Game 1 and Game 2, and we're really looking forward to seeing what they can show us in Game number 3.
Here we go. Infernal Shrines. Azmodan, of course, included in the map art for Infernal Shrines. Do you think we'll see Azmodan?
I don't think so. But that'd be exciting to see. I like them. I don't exactly know the lore that much, but like I would love to see this demon lore.
Alright, so we see the ReGen Phoenix ban on Urel there once again, saying no Urel for Colonel Pants. Your pants will not be worn by Urel today. See, what do you think 2Calculated2Throw's ban is?
I wonder if they're gonna follow up with another offlane ban here, or are they gonna go with the same bans that they've had before?
They're gonna go ahead and ban out the Deckard this time. Both teams have played Deckard now. Maybe they'll ban out the Rhaegar as well, otherwise I imagine it's a first pick Rhaegar out of ReGen Phoenix, who showed it in Game 1. There's the Stukov ban, so we're starting to see the healer choke here in Game 3. This feels like it kind of has to be Rhaegar now. If it's Rhaegar, then that leaves the Ana open for 2Calculated, which of course they're gonna, or the Ana open for ReGen Phoenix. They want to do an early pickup there on the Ana. Of course, they can go into like the Tassadar, the Tracer. It's gonna be the Sylvanas ban out, which of course makes sense as well. So now you have Rhaegar and Ana are probably gonna be the two healers here. There's the Rhaegar first pick. Do 2Calculated go for the bold move of just taking Johanna ETC?
I like your draft strategy there. I haven't really seen that many teams, or maybe even any teams, do that in a 1-2 or 3-4 before. But I'm sure 2Calculated2Throw is thinking about disengages or some way to deal with when the Bloodlust is active, and they are going with ETC and Mephisto.
Mephisto has not yet been played by 2Calculated2Throw. It has been played by ReGen Phoenix so far this season, but not by 2Calculated. So this is their first game in Mephisto, at least in NGS. I'm sure they've played it elsewhere.
Yeah, Mephisto has been played 9 times. Actually, never mind, 15 times with a 60% win rate so far in Division A East.
Now it's Diablo on Mudge. It's Mudge's Diablo and Zool on played by Arrow so far. Maybe they'll swap later. Do you think this is offlane Diablo maintaining Zool, or do you think they're just swapping because Arrow plays Zool and Mudge doesn't?
I think the latter. Probably Mudge is good on Diablo, and Arrow can play Zool in the offlane.
I would love to see them just swap roles. I would love to see the main tank Zool, the offlane Diablo. We're gonna see the ban on Tassadar though.
And we kind of predicted that somebody was gonna ban that out. Not to see that again.
The Ana ban. I actually would have liked to see him ban the Greymane out this time for my feed. The bullet there onto Diablo or Zool could be really devastating. As well as they have the ETC Mosh set up, or even the Imperius ban again. The Imperius did a lot of work last game for 2Calculated.
And 2Calculated did pretty well with the Greymane, so they might pick it up right here to basically deny it for ReGen Phoenix.
Give me the Ariel, and there's the Greymane. So solid, solid pickups there by 2Calculated. Going for the Ariel, they have not yet played Ariel on the side of 2Calculated. So exciting to see that. So they have 2 picks so far that they have not played before this season. But what is ReGen gonna opt for? ReGen, of course, gonna opt for Kerrigan and Raynor. So it's the Kerrigan that we saw in Game 1 that did really well, and the Raynor that also was in... No, it was the Autotech Hanzo in Game 1. But it's Raynor now. It's Raynor from Game 2, plus the Kerrigan from Game 1. Overall, it looks like a solid Bolas comp coming out of ReGen Phoenix. Zul W build, the Kerrigan is going to weave in some autos in her combos, the Raynor from the back line. 2Calculated2Throw going to pick up their offlaner now of Sonya. I like that. Sonya is pretty good. She's really solid into Zul. Especially once she gets the talent where she can whirlwind out of roots. Which draft do you prefer here?
I've seen your Mephisto before, and I've always enjoyed playing with Mephisto. So I'm kind of liking the draft on the left side more. I mean, personally, just the preference, but the draft of ReGen Phoenix is really solid. I'm kind of scared of their engage into the team of the left.
As we enter into Game 3 of 2Calculated2Throw versus ReGen Phoenix, 1-1, as we have Mephisto played by Fear, X Havoc on ETC, Colonel Pants playing Sonya, I Feed on the Greymane, and Zamil playing Ariel.
And on the right side, we have ReGen Phoenix, Araya on Rhaegar, Arrow on Zul, Mudge on Diablo, Deribo on Raynor, and Rabbit Penguin on Kerrigan.
Excuse me, it's getting late. I'm on a weird work schedule right now. Alright, go ahead and set up my camera stuff there. And it's going to be the Shackler out of Zul. For level 1, the shield that slows, gives him CDR. Solid talent. Swift Sweep out of the Ariel. Block, tough as nails, on the Sonya. Kerrigan going Fury of the Swarm. The other thing we didn't really talk about with the Kerrigan pick was its Infernal Shrines. And this is kind of known as Kerrigan's map. Q build, yep. And then just clear the monkeys there on the shrine. Looks like Zul going to go ahead and start right away in the top lane. Block party picked up by ETC, by the way, so they have a lot of block talents on that side to try to counter some of the auto tech talents. But anyways, Zul decided just to go through the top gate. He's actually in mid with the wraparound here on the bot lane here by ReGen. Little spread out. We'd like to see him group a little bit tighter here, but overall, pretty solid here. Zul's just going to hang out, going to queue that down a little bit. Just wait for this wave to push up while the rest of his team here looks for a potential flank from the bush. There's the ping onto this bush, but they don't realize they're actually in this bush. There's the dive there by Mudge onto the Mephisto. The Kerrigan combo follow-up there on the overpower. Greymane trying to dive into the backline, but it might pay for it. But Rhaegar is also super low. Who's it going to die from this bush party? And the answer looks like it's going to be no one, actually. Never mind, Diablo's going to get stunned now. There's still a chance for someone to go down. But never mind, no one's going to go down. Colonel Pants in the top lane there pushed a whole wave into the tower. This actually led to an XP advantage in favor of 2Calculated here. And it doesn't really feel like that bush party was worth it. But maybe it is because they have control of the bottom lane, and that means they have control over bottom camp here on the side of ReGen. They're going to go ahead and pick that up. Well, Arrow there in the top, going to try to get the Sonya out of his way as he's trying to clear in the top lane. Meanwhile, 2Calculated here, going to pick up their siege camp in mid. ReGen going to pick up theirs. 2Calculated can clear bottom. Zul's still in the top lane. Sonya's doing a little bit of double soaking here, trying to catch some of that mid wave. She's going to have to move back up top soon. She's going to miss that wave as well. She's going there now. As ETC rotates up from the bot to catch the mid, there's the Kerrigan combo onto the siege minions. But here's Arrow landing the root there onto X Havoc. He's just going to power slide forward. No more follow-up on that one. And overall, slight XP advantage still for 2Calculated, but it feels like it's just because they picked up more minions. They go ahead and pick up 4 now. And there is the Hurricane out of Sonya. This is when she starts to do a lot better into Zul. When she gets rooted, she can just whirlwind out. If she's in danger, if she's not in danger, she can just wait it out. Static barrier there on the Mephisto. This is the kind I still play the full W build onto Mephisto, but that's because I play super aggressive on Mephisto. That's the build you have to go for that. But there's all the CC there onto Diablo. He's not super stacked yet. He's only 25, and I lagged out for a second. All right, sorry about that. But we still see he got out. He just kind of stopped and then played and fast forward for a second.
I mean, this kind of shows that both teams are very even. Whenever they set up gangs, the other team is good enough to get out of the dicey situation, while the rest of the team is getting value somewhere else.
I turned up the temperature on my AC and I should have left. But anyways, we see ReGen there. They're gonna push back Colonel Pances. They overpower as well. ETC there was trying to start it, but there's a 2-man power slide now. So we're gonna go for it on them as well. Full team's trading trade damage. There's the Kerrigan combo onto the ETC though. X-Havoc getting low. Do they have the healing to keep him up? Are we gonna knock back the Kerrigan? 9 to 7, 10 to 8 right now onto the monkeys. They're pushing forward here once again. Colonel Pants, they're just whirlwinding around, but Rabid Penguin getting low. There's the overpower there onto ETC. Mudge also low here, and it just looks like the healing isn't as high here on the side of ReGen, so they're gonna be forced off here, and that's just the power of Ariel. She's able to heal a lot and very quickly.
Okay, ReGen Phoenix is trying to come in again. They probably need to go in right now. Actually, they're probably opting to give up this objective at this point.
Yeah, go ahead, and that's a Mortar Punisher picked up here at 4 minutes into the game for 2Calculated. Right as they're about to pick up level 7s as well. Diablo, of course, only having 45 souls right now. Gonna get jumped there, gonna start taking damage. Fear gonna go ahead and jump that wall because he can. Tower changes the tower aggro, work a little bit against that, but depending on what he picks here, he can do it more often. He's actually going to pick up Frost. Solid talent. Armor would let him die a little bit better, but he doesn't really need it this turn already. It looks like Diablo's just going to get CC changed here. There's the cleanse out in time, but unfortunately not fast enough for them. He's going to go ahead and fall there. That's going to be first blood over to 2Calculated2Throw. Who meanwhile was able to push a whole wall bottom lane, basically.
That's the power of Zoo.
That's the power of love. Right here. The 2Calculated, just gonna go ahead and gate that bottom camp now. Trying to figure out how to scout that push there on the side of ReGen so they can go for their mid camp here. But instead they're gonna scout out the bottom camp, it looked like. Go ahead and get that XP. They have Mudge now back there on the Diablo. He post up there for that camp for them to go ahead and take it. It is Ace in the hole once again for Raynor. Not opting for the Exterminator. Really good PvE, but just a little bit of damage in PvP. He's going to be focusing more on team fights over than trying to get all that extra value from Exterminator. Both teams picking up their mid camps about even here. Race to 10 is still in favor of 2Calculated here, but if ReGen can get basically 1 kill would tie that XP back up. It just kind of feels like the difference right now. There's the Kerrigan combo onto the ETC. There, they're going to also be able to overpower him back, and there's going to be the kill. And now we see ReGen Phoenix here in the lead on the race to 10, though not by much so. It's basically a dead even. They're going to go ahead and try to focus on that bottom well. It's not unfortunate that the next Punisher isn't down here. But there's the combo there onto Fear, but they're not able to land the Kerrigan combo follow-up, but it does not matter as Diablo will have secured the kill onto Mephisto with that setup. Here's the Hyperion now to just really secure this fort in the bot lane. That's evening up the number of forts dropped here as we take a look at some level 10s picked up by both teams. Mosh Pit, Beep, Bullet, Crystal Aegis. Most people seem to have gone back to Crystal Aegis over Resurrect that we saw for a while there last season. Poison Nova, Hyperion, of course, Apoc. Now it's going to be Sony's turn, overpowered, and then she's going to actually leap out rather quickly. She doesn't time her spin in time, though, and instead gets rooted, and that's going to set up the Kerrigan combo onto her. Rather unfortunate, she pressed her spin to win just a hair too soon. That's going to be most likely another fort here in favor of ReGen Phoenix. As that's really scary because this is where the next Punisher is, and you'd really like to have a building you can retreat to as well as a well. Meanwhile, 2Calculated2Throw are going to try to counter push a little bit here in the bot lane, but just don't seem to have the same raw damage that ReGen have, as the ReGen's actually already pushing Heatfall, saying maybe you just want a base race? No? Alright, you backed? Alright, we'll go get the Punisher now.
Seems like ReGen Phoenix is really good at roaming around the map for picks, and then that's how they caught up and then got ahead of the XP as well. Those last 3 kills were all pickups.
Alright, we're about to see the clash here. There's the dismount there from the Diablo W. Havoc on the ETC looking to get around to the back line. He's going to go ahead and get flipped over there by Diablo. ReGen on one side. Now there's the Mephisto ulti. There's the cleanse, but unfortunately it's not going to spread out. There's the Ultralist and Hyperion. The combo there from Kerrigan onto the one, but there's the Bloodlust now in the back, but Mosh Pit there onto Diablo. They're trying to cut around it a little bit. Here comes the APOC. It's going to go ahead and land on the ETC, who's also going to be slammed into the wall there by the Diablo. That's going to be a kill for ReGen. Bet and save that for a replay to watch here, just in case these teams decide to fight once again. Soon going down to mid lane. There's the Punisher picked up. We'll go ahead and take a quick look at that replay. You see the cleanse there onto Diablo. You can see the Ultralist miss. You can see the Hyperion coming out. You can see the teams go out. There's the Bloodlust though. They're able to run around, but they're unable to kill the Diablo in time during the mosh. The APOC though going to be able to secure that ETC kill. Now the teams are once again pushing this wall. There's the bullet coming out. There's the combo from the Kerrigan onto iFeed's Greymane. But he's going to get pushed back there by the Ariel. Be able to save up there because he can go ahead and finish that back. Arcane Punisher, of course, is the type of Punisher we have. No one's gotten a Frozen just yet, but it's pretty scary going forward if you're not able to win the next one, which is most likely going to be the Frost.
It seems like once level 10 came online for ReGen Phoenix, they actually have a lot more CC going on the side of them, which have been helping out in the team fight so far.
Your team's now picked up for both teams. We are going to see devastating charge, of course. Shard of Hate coming out from Mephisto. I don't know why I said ETC. Mephisto looking for a little extra CDR there. Full Whirlwind coming out of the Sonya. What is this one? Piercing Lash. Are you looking to get more stuns off? Giddy up. Chrysalis there for the Kerrigan. Here's the Hyperion though, trying to get that extra siege damage, and now it does mean that Raynor has a hard time pushing towers when he Hyperions, but sometimes it's still just worth it because it's safer. Like in this case, he wouldn't be able to step up to really auto-tech safely, so he definitely could throw out that Hyperion, get some siege damage. Almost got the well. Got some chip damage there on the building. They can finish off that well whenever they feel like it, really. Walk in with the Zool, Q, or the Kerrigan can just walk up and do it. ReGen can go for the bottom camp. Bruiser camp for the top lane. Gonna be picked up by 2Calculated here. And that well is tied to Winions.
Seems like post the first objective, the momentum has been in the favor of ReGen Phoenix, and they engage right here.
Yeah, much on the Ariel there, but the Ariel gonna be able to also counter. There's the Mosh Pit coming out. There's the Leap follow-up. The Ultralist coming out as well. There goes the Zool, unfortunately for ReGen, but it's gonna be the counter kill onto ETC. Diablo's the next one to fall. There's the Kerrigan combo onto Mephisto now, as now it's gonna be the Rhaegar. They're gonna go ahead and keep going here on the side of ReGen and 2Calculated. There's the Chrysalis out of Kerrigan, gonna save her life there. Sonya though still fighting this. There's the pool there onto the Ariel. Ariel's gonna be the next to fall, as well as gonna go have to back off here. Diablo did have a soul reset, unfortunately. Go ahead and pull up talents real quick, and then let's take a look at that fight, at least the intro portion of it, once again. You see the Diablo charged in there, got the overpower. The Ariel almost got caught, but then the Mosh Pit there to peel off the backline. The Bloodlust not quite enough, and then the Chrysalis Aegis there onto ECC saw his death once again. Diablo really committing to that Ariel, was unable to get her, and then the extra combo there onto Mephisto, able to finish that off. ReGen picking up the mid fort now as well during that replay, while Zool was getting the Bruiser camp.
Fortunately for the side of 2Calculated2Throw, they got a lot of value with the top camp. It almost took down the fort, but Zul was able to get up there in time to clear the wave. And now they're setting themselves up for the center objective.
Will be the all-powerful Frozen. Here goes the leap, though. There's the power slide there onto 2. Ariel getting super low on the Zul, but W-Bill able to heal him up. Certainly going to get killed there by the Diablo. Ariel going to go ahead and finish her slapping quest, but will she be able to get more of the Kerrigan combo onto the Mephisto? Then it's Ariel down as well, and that just smells really bad for 2Calculated2Throw and their fans. Maybe they could finish the game here if they all ran top, but instead they're going to opt to play it a little bit safer here. You can go ahead and use Kerrigan to get the quick shrine, because that's what Kerrigan's good at. They're going to go ahead and clear out mid lane as much as they can early on to let this Frozen Punisher do as much as they can. Of course, there's the souls once again stacked in Diablo. That was very quick. Mud showing off his power once again there. There goes that keep as well. Now they're going to go ahead and just be able to back off, get that Punisher, push core, maybe pick up a camp as well if they wanted to. We'll see if they opt. They could just 39 this and pick up 2 camps, which they may opt to do here. We'll have to see. There's going to be 1 camp. Go ahead and cap that now. Now they're going to look at the other camp. They are going to... not quite 39, but they're able to take camps really quick, so that's going to be push really hard here in the mid lane, and it's all going on core, which is not good. Neither team 20 just yet, but getting really close. Are we going to hit 20?
It depends on whether there are going to be any pickups.
Jump on the Mephisto there, but he's moving forward. The Kerrigan combo not going to be able to land. They were trying to pull the Punisher to the top keep, unable to do so. Now they're going to have to defend it on their core. 84% left as it starts to hit the core now. Here comes the Hyperion. The Mephisto going to miss the leap there onto Sonya. There's the Diablo charge, but the Aegis going to come out there from the Ariel, the Bloodlust, the Poison Nova, everything coming out. The Kerrigan, or Sonya going to leap there. Not the Kerrigan. The ETC stuck in the Zul root, going to go down. The Crystal is coming out now from the Kerrigan, and that's game as the Punisher just beats down the core. Game 3 going over to ReGen Phoenix to take this series 2-1.
Those were solid team fights coming out from ReGen Phoenix. Use up their combos really well and picking the right place to fight, especially the one right before the objective where they fought in a very narrow chokes where the Diablo Apocalypse got a lot of value.
For sure. 3 kills to 13. It felt like a lot closer than that stat line would show, for sure. So we're going to go ahead and move into the NGS lobby here for a interview with someone from ReGen Phoenix. We do have to and messaged them just to confirm. They did say before the game started, they both teams said they wanted one. They're discussing. I don't know if they're discussing who they're sending or if they're discussing the game real quick at the end. But either way, that's what they're doing. How did you feel about that series, Patience?
It seems like 2Calculated2Throw had the early game a little bit, but then post maybe 7 or so, or seems like ReGen Phoenix just had the momentum, and then 2Calculated2Throw could never just bring it back in their favor, unfortunately. But...
Hello,
Arrow. Welcome to Nexus Commentaries.
Thank you. It's great to be here.
Oh, it's good to have you. We should have gotten you here earlier, honestly. But you guys scheduled your
right?
games too early.
It was a lot of fun.
It was. How you feeling?
I'm pretty happy. Pretty happy with our overall performance tonight. So, team is stoked to get another W under our belts, and so yeah, pleased with it.
Yeah, everyone of course happy with the W when they can pull one off, and if 2Calculated2Throw should feel happy with their performance. They displayed themselves very well, and they were able to pull off a map, so they are still going to earn some points from this series. So let's talk about Game 1, Arrow.
Sure.
You guys ended with map pick. You opted for Dragonshire, which of course is really good if you have map pick, because you also get last pick for that counter pick. Was that the strategy, or was there another thought process going into that?
We had some plans for going into tonight. Some of them worked out, some of them didn't. But we had specifically discussed going to Dragonshire. We had a good plan for it, and it worked out for us.
Very solid. You guys banned out the Urel in all 3 games. That was obviously a target ban against Colonel Pants there. Just real solid on his part to scare you guys, I guess, into that ban, would you say?
Well, there are some heroes that you don't see very often, and somebody, when they play them well, they can take advantage of your lack of experience against that character. So, it makes a lot of sense if it's a strong character like Urel is, when played well, to just take it off the table. We definitely saw that the Imperius game 2 was just absolutely astounding, and really kind of broke our day a bit. But yeah, I mean, when people play heroes really effectively like that, there's some other, I hesitate to necessarily call people one trick. I certainly don't think Colonel Pants is a one trick.
No.
But when you play one specific hero extremely well, it's just better to not have to deal with it.
Yeah. I think we all can all think of people like that. Looking at you, Eric, with a K. That Medivh. Never play it. You'll never play it if I'm facing you. If I have any say.
Or certain people who play Blaze 89% of season
we
8.
let them have that one.
Yeah.
So, let's talk about game 2 then. Braxis Holdout. You guys picked that map as well. Didn't quite pick all 3. You guys picked the first 2 though. So you guys opted for Braxis Holdout, the other map where the off lane is super important. Would you just say that you have a lot of confidence in Mudge to pick those maps?
100%. I mean, Mudge is an absolute fantastic player. He's really great at the solo lane. I promised that I would bring up his 0-11 record on that map. He was very proud of it, but the reality of it is that again, kind of like with the Urel, there was a little bit of disconnect in the amount of combo potential that they had, and so they had really good rotations, were able to get some picks, and I think that was ultimately what allowed them to get that W. Was they played their combo really well.
Yeah, a lot of CC coming out from them in game 2 for sure. You guys ran, of course, if any question I ask and you're like, that's the team secrets, it's fine. Like, we'll just move on. Because you guys ran the Thrall Rainer in the top lane a lot in the early game on Braxis. Would you necessarily say that's your go-to strategy, or is that just like some last-minute adjustment that you guys made?
We're always trying out some different things with our strategies, and doing a 2-3, or I saw like John Knight at one point mention Braxis is really a 1-3-1 map, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so it's always interesting to try to throw the opposing team off of their game by doing something different. Sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't, and in this case I think it worked in many ways, but I don't think we played it quite as effectively as we would have liked. So to answer your question, is it a deep strategy, or something we cooked up at the last second or anything like that? I wouldn't necessarily go that far. It was just something we thought we'd try out with what we had.
More the middle ground.
Yeah. I like to be neutral in some of these.
Going into game 2, I had asked chat which team was going to get the first boss on Braxis. We only had one vote, and it was ReGen was going to get it.
Oh.
Then 2Calculated got it, so that's unfortunate. You guys did get no, you guys didn't. Was there a second boss picked up that game?
No, there was just the one.
Yeah, just the one. You guys fought near it. You didn't quite fight on it though.
Yeah, there were some opportunities that we discussed about possibly going there, but yeah, didn't quite work out.
a lot of camps picked up, a lot of merry-go-round, and then both teams showing extraordinary patience there. At the level 1920, right before that last fight broke out, you using your Johanna flashlight there to check bushes a bunch. Really well done by both teams on that. Showing
Felt
that
a little like
restraint.
hide and seek.
Did. And who doesn't like a good game of hide and seek?
And listen, all I'm saying is, guys, quit hiding behind the curtains. We see your feet.
And then we go into Game 3, Infernal Shrines, and you had the swap there with Mudge pulling him out of the offlane and onto the main tank, where he did really well on the Diablo once again. Mudge just kind of felt like the MVP for your team if I had to pick one for games 1 and 3. A little bit in 2-2. He had some really good sunders. But you were in the offlane that game with Zool. And I just gotta ask, why didn't you just offlane Diablo and main tank Zool?
You know, that's a great question, and I think that, you know, realistically, I just wanted a break. I just wanted to step away, have my time out, off in the off lane, doing my own thing, having a little bit of dance with Colonel. Colonel. Yeah.
Everyone wants to hang out with Colonel Pants.
Yeah. I was jealous of Mudge.
Yeah.
He got all that time, and I was like, I can't let that continue. I've got, you are spending too much time with Colonel Pants, so you're gonna have to go. You're gonna have to spend time in the punishment with the foreman.
Everyone wants to spend time with Colonel Pants.
I mean, the reality of that is that for that comp, Mudge certainly has talked about doing like a Diablo offlane and all that stuff, but the bottom line is that for what we were running and the play style that we had, it made more sense for me to be in the offlane for that.
Has he wondered about the offlane Morales yet?
Not publicly.
Reach out much. I'll help you with that.
We're having that. Yeah, we're having that conversation, and we're keeping that conversation in the closet. Hashtag Pride Month.
Patience, do you have any questions here for Arrow about any of the games or the series?
So my question is on Rhaegar, because you guys played it on Game 1 and Game 3.
Sure.
And it ended up coming out as the first pick in game number 3. Was it something that you guys wanted to go for, and what the bans were around? Because we were also kind of surprised to see the healer chokes coming out as the bans from both teams mostly.
So, it's most often against us. We have tank bans. Sometimes teams will look at, targeting the Sylvanas that Rabid Penguin has played sometimes, or Alarak that, Mudge is incredibly famous for his one game that he played, I think, all of last season and this season.
Yeah.
But, there are certain targets that again, just like the URL, that people don't want to play against. And when you take a step back away, I mean, there are only so many healers, and there are only so many of the healers that are there that are really solid picks. And so if you are, looking at a history and you see that, Zemil plays primarily Stukov, and Stukov would be a really bad thing for what you're trying to do, then you just take it off the table. And then when they, switch Ektar in, and I do want to say, Ektar, congrats on your win, keeping that win rate high for you there. But you switch it around a little bit because you've got different players. And, I mean, Majesty, I know that last season you did all kinds of stat checking and, research and everything. And I cannot say that we put even 10% of what you put in.
You should see what Patience read just for this game.
I'm sure.
We were talking about
we do enough to have
the
an
left
idea.
versus right win rate on Dragonshire and in general over at Division A East specifically.
Nice.
Which by the way is super lopsided.
We started the game and I was like, I hate being on the right side. It's just, it feels so clunky to me.
Left side right now in Division A East, at least before this series, before tonight, was running a 6% win rate advantage over right side. For all of Division A, yeah.
Gotta flatten that curve.
Yeah, which you guys worked on tonight.
A little bit.
So, I guess the question you always ask, so I'm gonna put you on the spot with it too. If you had to pick a highlight moment from tonight, what would it be?
So this is always a tough question for me because even as a caster, like 5 seconds after play has happened, I've forgotten what happened in the play.
Mm-hmm.
And so there's really just one moment that, and I think it was super clutch, and it actually ultimately ended the game for us in game 3, even though it was 2 minutes before. We were above the mid shrine. Sonya jumped in on me. They were targeting me, and they got me really low, but the combination of my shield and the Zool is just a monster. 40% damage reduction from cleaves, healing from cleaves, bloodlust from Arya, and then the team just like kind of making it work. Like, felt so amazing to survive there, and then ultimately get a full team wipe. I think that is what we had at that point.
I'm gonna take credit
but I
for
think
that
that's what we set up.
I'm gonna take credit with that because I called your death there, and so caster curse kept you alive.
Oh, there you go. Fair enough.
So this was
And
overpowered in any way. It's just that it's caster curse.
Yeah, and I told him, I was like, Sonya's coming in, she's gonna leap on me, and they're gonna follow up with it, and that's how it went, and it, half a second more, and I was dead, and that whole thing goes a completely different direction. But it was a really fantastic matchup. I really enjoyed playing against these guys, and I know so many of these guys from casting or leadership or what have you. So it was really fantastic to play against them.
All right. As we go ahead and wrap up here, Arrow, do you have any shout-outs you want to do or plugs?
I do, for sure. So obviously, you guys for casting, I really do appreciate it. Patience, I want to congratulate you on your promotion. And ReGen Phoenix, absolutely just great group of people. I'm really happy with how our team has kind of come together and progressed as a whole over the last couple seasons. To the people we couldn't get to play tonight, we had Psychic and Murder and Snazzy and Ty. And of course, our friends over there at 2Calculated. Really appreciate the games from them. And I gotta finish up with a shout out to Lily.
She's watching tonight.
I know, she messaged me.
Patience, do you have any shout outs or plugs you want to do?
Well, first of all, to both teams showing us a great series tonight, and congratulations to ReGen Phoenix for taking the win with a 2-1. Of course, thank you for having me as a co-caster, Majesty, and of course, Actor stepping in during Game 1 to promote me so that I can jump it back into the Game 2 and Game 3 to cast these matches. And of course, NGS for setting all this up together and making this happen. And this time, I'm not going to forget, I'm going to shout out to Lily, our number one fan, even though we are not competitively playing all that much this season.
Alrighty. Well, thank you all for coming out and enjoying this great series put on by 2Calculated2Throw and ReGen Phoenix. Great showing by both teams for sure. Thank you, Patience, for co-casting. Thank you, NGS, for putting it all together. Thank you, Lily, of course, for being our number one fan. We're all always there for you. And as always, we'll see you next time in the Nexus.